It was announced this week that Donald Trump's re-election campaign is suing the New York Times on Donald Trump's behalf over allegedly false claims that Donald Trump in 2016 had some kind of agreement in place with Vladimir Putin to destroy Hillary Clinton and send Trump to the White House. Now, here's the thing. Let me read this from the Trump re-election campaign. This is what they said when they announced the lawsuit. Today, the president's re-election campaign filed suit against the New York Times for falsely stating the campaign had an overarching deal with Vladimir Putin's oligarchy to help the campaign against Hillary Clinton in exchange for a new pro-Russian foreign policy, starting with relief from economic sanctions. This actually was spawned by an op-ed in the New York Times by an opinion columnist titled "The Real Trump-Russia Quid Pro Quo" by a man named Max Frankel. Now, here's the thing. Those are pretty bold accusations in this op-ed, right? You are just flat out there stating Donald Trump had a deal with Putin himself to take down Hillary Clinton in exchange for getting rid of the sanctions. That is very specific. And I'm not going to lie, you really didn't have the evidence with you to back that up. But libel lawsuits work a little bit differently, folks. And even though Trump, believe it or not, does have a pretty good case here, it may not be as good as they think it is. Because in a libel suit, for the most part, the plaintiff has to prove that what the other person said was false. So by filing this lawsuit, they have opened up the door for the New York Times and their lawyers to go through their campaign material, to go through emails, to go through documents, to go through everything, because that's how discovery works. They get to get all of those dirty little secrets, unless, of course, they decide, oh, we forgot about that. Maybe we're not going to file this suit after all. Because here's the thing, the New York Times may not find something to back up the claim made by Frankel in the op-ed, but they will certainly find some pretty damning material in there that would eventually become public because of the way that court records work, unless the Trump administration sued to have them sealed. So, yeah, this could be very interesting. Here's something people have to understand about libel laws. There's certain different things that either have to be proven or disproven, typically a set of 4. First one is the statement, which must be about another person, must be false. Must be false. So if that statement made by Frankel is proven to be true, automatically there's no libel. Number 2, the statement must be published to a third party who cannot also be the person who is being defamed. So it had to be visible, is what that means. You know, can't just be something you said to your buddy in a back alley when nobody was listening. That's not slander. You can't sue for that. Has to be something made public. The third one, now this is what could easily bite the New York Times here. If the nature of the statement is of public concern, the person who has published it must be at least liable in negligence. That's important. Public figures who seek to prove that they have been defamed must prove an additional element under the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution that in publishing the statement, the defendant was acting with actual malice by publishing something they know to be a lie, or at least to have had a total disregard for whether the statement is true or not. Number 4, the person about whom the defamatory statement is made must be damaged by the statement. But here's the thing, it's that third one, the actual malice. Publishing something you know is false. It's likely the New York Times did that. Because here's the thing, folks. We all know that Russia helped the Republicans in 2016. That's a given. The evidence is there. But if you try to make a claim beyond that and say that Trump himself had a deal with Putin himself, that he was going to lift the sanctions if Putin made it. See, now you're treading into territory where you don't have that evidence. Okay? It could have happened. It could be very likely. But you can't prove it. And that's going to get you sued every time. But again, This libel suit is a double-edged sword. Trump may succeed in hurting the New York Times, but through the discovery process, they're probably going to hurt him pretty good as well. What are you doing? It's over. The video's over. I'm done complaining about everything, and that's it. The end. Leave. Well, okay, if you're going to stick around, maybe you should give us a like, a comment, a share, or just subscribe to stay connected with all of our content. Or maybe you should consider becoming a member for some exclusive content and perks. Just follow the link in the description. Now, go. Just go.